But it's such a mad come up because, you know, that was the I Series happens in August, right? So that's August 2016. And then by November, you do the European Minor Championships, the qualifiers for Atlanta, which were hosted by PGL. And suddenly you're there with, you know, Machine. Obviously, you're paired up with Hugo. You're suddenly commentating not on UK teams that no one's ever heard of, you know. You're doing the big boys, you know. You had Ents were there, and Hellraisers were there, Heroic were there, the Godsent with Pronax was there. And so in terms of a rise, I'd struggle to think of a caster that went as quickly from, you know, obscurity to now I'm suddenly commentating an irrelevant event for tier one, essentially a qualifier for a top tier event. So what happened there? How does that leap occur? Because I know the theory is whenever people do that jump, people always assume it's nepotism or cronyism or something.
No, I mean, like, so I only done an Insomnia, right? So, you know, in terms of like contacts, I didn't really have anyone. But the one thing I did have was like, you know, I said I made this portfolio, and then like I got all my VODs of Insomnia. I got all my VODs from doing TWC back on a Zubu, you know, with E-Frag.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, you know, like that was great. And so then I send an email to PGL, because like obviously when you're like trying to get started, you're emailing everyone, even if you know like you're probably not gonna get hired, like you're just kind of taking the chance that maybe they bring you in anyway. And so, you know, I sent them like I think it was like 2 emails, and I heard nothing back for ages, and so I was like, oh, I'm not getting it. And then like randomly out of the blue, I got this message like, yeah, do you want to come out to Bucharest and do the minor? And bro, like, considering, you know, the minor is an attachment to the major, and this was like the second real like kind of thing I'd ever got to do, that felt huge to me, right? Like that felt like, wow. I think I'd done a minor online for PGL already, but you know, online casting, especially when you're new, feels like very, very different to getting asked to go and do it on site. And so they took a bit of a chance on me. Like they fly me out. I get to work with Matt and Henry. That was like my first experience of getting to work with, you know, like these like big talent names. That was wild, you know, like Thorin was there as well. It was me, Thorin and ReDeYe on the desk as like the 3 people that would do desk work, and occasionally they subbed like me out for Henry or me out for Matt. And bro, like I remember I was terrified, like being on a desk with Thorin and ReDeYe, who are like these 2 you know, like grizzled legends of the scene. And then there's me, who was never even trying to be an analyst anyway. And I'm like sat there, you know, like trying to keep up with him. And bro, you know what Thorin's like? This guy's so quick, it's terrifying. So, you know, he's on the desk wrecking me. And ReDeYe's like, yeah, by the way, like, because we were all talking like really friendly in the green room, right? It's all just banter. At least that's what I tell myself, right? Hopefully.
You never can be sure.
Yeah, no, right? ReDeYe goes to me, yeah, it's like, by the way, when Thorin is just wrecking you, like, you know, maybe do say something back, because otherwise it just looks like bullying if you're just going quiet. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm just so nervous, bro. I'm like freaking out. And so like Duncan can tell that, and he's like trying to, you know, taper what he's saying, so it doesn't just look like I'm like getting ruined on this desk segment. Oh, dude, it's so funny looking back, because it wouldn't play out like that now, you know. Like now I'm very much down to Cloud, and I love having like a back and forth and banter, but bro, I was just terrified. And I think it kind of showed in the casting. I don't think that was like my best event in terms of casting. I was I kind of got in my own head a bit. Like there was this one clip where XMS gets an ace with 5 bullets, and it's me and Sadakis casting it.
Right.
And bro, I just fluffed it completely. Like I fucked up the first kill, and I just kept replaying like the fuck up in my head. And so I'm just like mumbling on while this incredible play happens in the background. And then Matt at the end like drops like a big, oh, you know, like to try and like give some hype to it. But you just have this fucking 30 seconds of me like, and I'm like just stumbling over shit while in the background, XMS is like making the play of the century. And I was like, well, that's my career done. That's me over. But you know, I recovered.
Listen, it's better sometimes to do that than it is to try and come up with like an off-the-cuff iconic line, like the one we always laugh about. And I don't know which commentator did this off the top of my head. I can't remember. So I am sorry if they see this. But there's the one where all the other commentators used to laugh about it. And it was like, what are you made of, my man? When somebody like got an ace. And it's one of the most cringe-worthy attempts at trying, because the build, because no one believed that they were going to get the ace. They were doing that thing where it was like an almost blasé, approach to the round, like, well, he's not going to do this. And then they did do it. And then they tried to spin it around. And what are you made of, my man? I think it was Config they were commentating about. And it was just like, that was the thing we always used to laugh about in the green room. Like the idea that sometimes you just have to let it go because it doesn't work. And sometimes when you're doing commentary, there'll be this emergent quality to it where you realize, actually, yeah, it's happening, and I've done it all right. Yeah. I just have to let Jesus take the wheel here, and it'll all be okay. So
that's definitely something you like get more of a feeling for as you do it, right? Yeah. Like there are so many moments, man. Like if you look at, like, I think a really good example of this is someone like Vince, right? I think he's really good at like getting a feeling for how a round is going to play out before it's even played out. Like if you listen to that Coldzera, the man, the myth, the beast, on Mirage, dude. That, by the way, incredible line. Vince needs, like, he should just be a top caster. It fucks me off somehow.
You know the story about Coldzera making the T-shirt?
Yeah, well, so I know he made the T-shirt, but I don't know anything more than that. I just know he made the Man, the Myth, the Beast T-shirt.
Yeah, so basically, like, obviously that's like one of the legendary calls with a legendary play. And Vince just sort of woke up one day and somebody had messaged him, I think from like his community streams. So have you seen this? And obviously there it is, the Man, the Myth, the Beast. They're like Vince's words on a T-shirt that Coldzera is selling. And like, obviously Vince was like, well, he never even fucking said no about that, mate. He didn't even fucking ask me, like. And it's like, just the idea of it just buckles me that, like, you do this legendary call and a player goes, yeah, I'll be having that. Fuck you, like, and sells it, and then doesn't even, like, just as a courtesy say, oh, great bit of commentary there, mate.
I didn't even mention it, but like whacked it on the T-shirt.
Yeah, on the T-shirt, a million sold. I've got a mansion, and Vince is like, fucking hell, playing Mario Kart on stream for money, Oh, it's brilliant. I love it, mate. I love it. I love that happened to Vince. It's perfect.
I let you off once before, but you still got the nerve to come back here and make trouble again. Hey, children, what does it all mean?